Hey dolls, welcome back to your royal BFF, the People's Duchess. How you living? How you doing? How you feeling? How's your mom and them? I hope you guys are having a wonderful weekend so far. I hope you guys are blowing things up, knocking things down, kicking in doors, and snatching extensions right off the scalp. I'm doing very well myself. Thank you so much for wondering. Before we get started with today's video, hit that like, share, and subscribe. I am trying to reach 10K subscribers by the end of the year. Is it impossible? Yes. Is it possible? Also, yes. Fate and equal parts delusion should do it. So yeah, Harry's trip to Toronto is everything we thought it was going to be, and then some. I'm putting together a highlight reel of all his best moments from the tour, and this part was one of my favorites because it really made me emo. I'm not going to lie, it had me in my feelings. This is probably one of the most beautiful pictures out of this tour. I was really moved to tears, actually. I think it's because this man has been through so much and he still has compassion. Life has not stripped him of his compassion. His upbringing hasn't made him cold and brutal. It's really refreshing. And not to compare and contrast here, but it's shockingly clear. Like the juxtaposition is so obvious and immediate. You immediately contrast this against his sister-in-law, for example, moving away from, stepping back from, and clasping her hands together to avoid taking the outreached hand of the Honorable Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith in Jamaica. She did not want that woman to touch her, and despite being in the full view of everyone, she made it known that she didn't, just like her mother-in-law did in France. His father and his stepmother infamously and very scandalously refused to embrace certain people of a certain demographic. Harry and Meghan have really ushered in this new inclusive, accessible, empathetic model of what it means to be royal today. It's very touching to see that he still has this level of humanity. This is soft power, diplomacy, and a masterclass in statesmanship. And oddly enough, I haven't seen that movie, An Officer and a Gentleman. That was a little bit before my time, but if they ever do a remake, Harry should definitely have more than just a cameo role in it. He should have scenes, and it should be a comedy. He would be so good in it. This whole trip, very funny, very charming, very much had everyone really interested in what he had to say. So I think that kind of commanding presence, I don't know, really comes across well on the silver screen. He's also got great comedic timing. One of my favorite moments from this trip was when the director of the facility grilled him over his support for the Dodgers and his sporting of the LA Dodgers hat, and Harry had the perfect response.
Is there anything you'd like to say at all about wearing that LA Dodgers hat last week and getting it hot
LA
water?
Dodgers hatgate. Well, firstly, I would like to apologise to Canada for wearing it. Secondly, I was underdressed. There wasn't much choice. I was invited to the LA Dodgers box or the dugout by the owner himself, so I was doing what I thought was the polite thing to do. But I'm going to wear this from now on to make sure I don't make any more of those mistakes. But the other piece to this was, as you could probably relate, when you're missing a lot of hair on top and you're sitting under floodlights, you'll take any hat that's available. So, Game 5, Game 6, Game 7, I was Blue Jays throughout. Now that I've admitted that, it's going to be really hard for me to return back to Los Angeles. But no, I'm very sorry to the Canadian public. Devastated that the Blue Jays lost, but go Jays.
Dude, Hatgate is wild, Harry. That is so funny. And there were so many of these really hilarious times throughout his short trip. He went to the Halo dinner that night. Also quite funny because he addressed Hatgate again there and clarified things, which is a brilliant move. Harry was able to assess that Toronto is probably a little sore with him for rooting for the Dodgers instead of the Jays, but it's a brilliant strategy to tell that joke and break the ice and get people back on his side. Harry has perfected that. He's not just talking to the crowd, he's involving them, he's breaking the ice, getting them loosened up. He's not just up there yada yada yadaing, he's really connecting with them. He's also connecting with people who connected with his mother. The Halo Trust is a part of her legacy, and a lot of those people in that room remember.
Much has changed in my life and the world since 2019 when I first visited Wombo. In those 5 years, I've become a father for the second time. and while you don't need children to have a stake in the future of our planet, I do know that my mother would have been horrified that anyone's children or grandchildren live in a world still infested with mines.
What I do know is that they are studying this man's speeches, his mannerisms, his movements, his swag, his walk, his talk, like homework. Just like they do Meghan, they study them and then replicate as much as possible, and it's hilarious. I don't know, you can't replicate this. You can't just buy this somewhere off the rack. There's definitely a je ne sais quoi. There's a joie de vie that he just has naturally, and most importantly, a respect that has been earned. This is a man that has been upgraded by a very fancy wife at home. A wife whom he thanked Canada for producing for him. It was so sweet, gave her a sweet shout out. He said, truthfully, and all jokes aside, this city will always mean a great deal to me. You provided a wife for me and you hosted the Invictus Games, touchstones in my life, both professionally and personally. Yeah, Harry's that guy. He will always be that guy. So this has been a wonderful mini royal tour. This is one of those defining moments, I think, in Harry's career. He can really stand on his own 2 feet, hold his own audience, hold court. You know he went over this speech a million times with his wife, and so it was perfected, and he really does do the work. And that's the earned respect that we're talking about versus the I demand that you respect me because we used to colonize and beat you. It just hits different. Harry doesn't have to yell at anyone for the respect. He doesn't have to demand it. He doesn't have to lean on nepotism. He certainly doesn't have to shake his finger and get in anyone's face for it. He just shows up and does good. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I have seen the news. We will get to Meghan returning to the silver screen. We will get to her as Everdrop at Godmother's. We will get to all the Sussex good news this week in the next video.